Beatstorm, comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Trevor Scott, and with me as always is Ben Slinger.
We're getting serious here tonight on Beatstorm.
Very serious.
There's a lot going on in the world and a lot of craziness. We thought we should add to it with the weird random word generator that Trevor has put together.
Yes, it is very weird. It is, as I'm kind of saying it, fucked.
Yeah, it's a bit fucked. Well, I feel like we're the seers who are interpreting its intentions for these video games as opposed to just being prompts.
So we're going to take these words and we're going to have a good serious think about them and try to, like, Ben's going to take one, I'm going to take one.
And then
separately.
we will give you your guided meditation through this
because as we
design.
remember, we cannot put these together. The world would implode if we threw them at each other.
No.
Like we used to.
We can't.
So that's why we're in serious time right now.
That's right.
You cannot throw these words at each other.
We can only each take one set of words. The particle acceleration of these words being slammed together would create new elements. Yes, it would create new video games, but they would be unplayable by human brains.
Yes.
Only fifth dimensional beings would be able to clock them.
So I'm going to start us off with the two words of beetling prudery.
Beetling?
Yes.
Is it like the bug?
Jutting or overhanging is the definition for beetling.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then prudery, excessive or effective modesty.
Oh, prudery. I thought you said broodery, which is sort of the opposite of prudery. Okay. I mean, I feel like beetling, being a beetle.
I mean, synonyms is beetle, so.
Okay. Could we take this to the BEA beetle and have this be around a boy bandish sort of situation?
Oh, yeah.
And the prudishness.
But being very modest.
Yeah, the modesty that comes with being a boy band.
Being a role model. By being a role model to all these teen fans over the world.
Yeah, we're getting into the seriousness again.
It's very seriousness.
You can't just tell teens about jacking off.
You can't just take one of the many fans out the back and fuck them. You've got to,
even though
because they're teens.
They're teens.
It's
you might
bad.
be 25, but looking like a teen. They're actual teens.
They're actually teens. So you can't do that. You've got to be modest about it, and you've got to be prude. You've got to be prudish.
Mm-hmm. So is this a bit of a... for some reason, I went to a Maniac Mansion style point and click where you're switching between the characters.
Yep. Okay, I love it. You play all four members of
the boy band.
Of the boy band.
And maybe it's like set in a Maniac Mansion-esque way. It's set across one night, so there's sort of different things happening at different times. And you can take each of their stories sort of separately in any order, but there are times when they'll essentially cross and you'll have to have done something with one person to affect the other person's story or to have to solve a puzzle.
I think unlike Maniac Mansion, we're not going to throw them in a jail if they get caught.
No, I don't think there's any getting caught as such. Maybe each band member does have a modesty meter of some kind, or the opposite, a crudometer, a cancel, how close they are to being cancelled, essentially.
Yeah.
Like the what's the doomsday clock? It's like the cancellation clock.
Yeah,
it gets updated. We're 2 minutes to midnight on the cancellation clock.
For some reason, when you said the cancellation clock, I just had this thought of, and now we look at the flower clock.
Play school. Yeah.
Play school. It's like, we can see, oh.
What time is it on the cancellation clock? Well,
it's cancel
He
time.
just dropped the F slur, so we have moved 5 minutes closer to cancellation.
You'll see that we're now 1 minute away from cancellation.
One more slur or odd glance, or if you feel someone up.
And we'll be over cancellation.
So it's literally just about getting through the night with one non-cancelled member left. And that's
because you can rebuild. If you've got one, you can rebuild because they multiply.
Well, they just go solo. You know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing, isn't it? Because they're all one voice anyway.
They're all clones.
They're all clones.
Yeah, essentially.
We think so the same so often.
Clone Boy 5 is the name of the band. Like
Exactly. That's the name of the episode too, because that's just...
And I know we said that there are 4 members, but that's because one got cancelled already before the game.
You just didn't realise. In fact, the manager was it.
No, right. Well, that's the thing.
He aged up very
Creeps
quickly.
always
because,
get cancelled upwards, right? That's
yeah.
that's the
That's the way it works.
Yeah. Just means you can't be in the spotlight anymore.
Yeah. Fail upwards. It's all good. Ben.
Yeah.
What serious words do you have for me?
What does the generator have in store for us tonight? Semiconductive actitis macularia. So, I mean, semiconductive we know.
Yes.
It's semiconducting. It conducts.
No,
sometimes.
it's having characteristics of a semiconductor.
Well, yes, okay. If you want to go for the actual definition that's there. The actitis macularia is the common North American sandpiper. That's apparently the name for a bird.
So we're getting birds, not fish this week.
I wish it gave me more. See, we have the definition in there, so we don't have to Google. But I don't know enough about the sandpiper, so I'm going to look at it. Right, that's what I thought. I think it like digs shit out of the sand. Like that's how it gets its food and stuff. So, but it's a robot
and a semiconductor. Ooh,
maybe this could be a mad scientist bird watcher sort of thing. Creating wacky, zany inventions to lure or maybe not lure, maybe that's against the bird watching thing, but like detect and take photos of the various breeds of birds that he wants to see.
Yeah. And he knows that the, what was it? The common North American sandpiper is semiconductive. So he's thinking...
I thought we'd covered semiconductor for the inventions, but no, yeah, okay.
So he's actually trying to build this massive invention, but he needs more spotted sandpipers.
Wait, so this isn't just about bird watching. It's about discovering the properties of the various birds and how you can then integrate them into your doomsday device.
Into your doomsday devices.
So from the it's as we like to do because it works better when we talk about it than in an actual game. But we pull the rug out from the player in some way. They think it's semi-wholesome of this. He's a bit eccentric. He likes to use lots of technology to do it. But he's searching for these birds to take photos of them and scan them. But then he knows for a fact that if you put, into the right leg of the sandpiper a massive voltage, it will conduct into the other leg. Yeah. At just the right ratio or whatever to power his device.
But if you put a voltage into his tail and then into the leg, it won't, because that's how a transistor in this world works.
Right.
So it's all about,
so you get to control that. Yeah. Control that current.
The electrodes and determine when it turns on and turns off depending on the voltages.
But then, I think we can expand this. So, the wedge-tailed eagle has eyes that will work particularly well as lenses to focus the beams
Exactly.
of his device, which is, it needs to very accurately target the satellite that he's built out of birds that's circling the Earth.
And of course, we can't forget the common pigeon.
Mm.
I mean, they're just great resistors. You shove them in there and
in parallel or in series.
Yeah, they're fine. Hummingbird, I see them as great capacitors. Like they can store a lot and then let it out afterwards. By crazily, flapping their wings.
Definitely.
So
definitely.
that makes sense as a capacitor. So they they smooth out the voltage.
Yep. We have, we use owls and such as light detectors and sound, the sensors of their sense-ers become sense-ors for our devices. So yeah, I mean, I can picture an upgrade path here where it's like capture 7 sandpipers, so you can build your next little drone that you're going to need to capture the wedge-tailed eagle. That you need to. It's this growing tree of cascading upgrades from the different types of birds.
Yeah, and of course, what people don't realize, like there's lots of people living on your island. They don't realize that the way that you've got the whole beach laid out, that if you lay on, in certain places, like you put your towel down, it's like you're part of the circuit now.
Right. You're conducting part of the power for this device. Right. So then, okay. So is the goal then that eventually to power this thing fully, you need to orchestrate the situation.
Connect it all together.
Where everyone's connected up on the beach in the right spots.
Yeah.
Interesting.
From there, it's just a puzzle game.
You're just sliding people across the beach.
Yes. Yeah. You've caught all your birds.
It's like a tile,
and they're in the right place. And now you're putting all the other people in the right place by sliding the tiles.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Trevor, channel the great beyond of our random word generator.
Decreased bunkmate.
Ooh, okay. Some normal-ish words.
Yes.
Wow. Might be broken. We might have broken it. We'll see next time. Okay, decreased bunkmate. So bunkmate, I think like school camps maybe, or like sleepaway camp sort of thing, which we don't tend to have as much here, but it's very much pop culture thing.
Yeah.
Or military is the other way. But
I mean, I like the idea of this being, a school camp, but over the length of the camp, like you started with 7 campers in your like cabin, 7 bunkmates.
Yep.
By the end, you do not have 7.
No,
because you've decreased in numbers.
Yes,
and it's through weird, wonderful things that no,
we don't.
You've got kids.
Okay, we're not going the Freddy of the Friday.
We don't need to go Friday the 13th or anything like that. Because I mean, they never killed campers anyway. They always killed the camp counselors.
Yeah, okay.
Because they were the ones getting it on.
Right. Oh, that's right. It was a purity thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are like tweens, and it's sort of more of a Goonies-esque.
That one went down to poison ivy. That one's in the infirmary due to eating a pine cone. Because they
bring
got
some aspects of one of the most underrated Rockstar games into this, Bully, where it's a bit of an open world sort of thing. You've got all the different characters, but you're going through sort of different missions that propel each story forward in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
With the end result generally being one of them gets either sent home from camp or caught up somewhere else. They are no longer your bunkmate.
I mean, really, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get through the 7 days of camp with all your bunkmates, and almost like a
Mass Effect 2 situation.
Well, not even a Mass Effect 2, maybe like what was the quarry and what was the other one? Until Dawn.
Yeah.
Kind of like them, how, if you don't do the right thing, there's the scripted deaths that happen. But in this case, the death's been just in trips to the infirmary and then your parents get called. And it's, if you can make it through all the different ones, then obviously the more campers that you've got on the last day, the more chance that you have, beating Cthulhu on the last day.
On the last day when the ground erupts and the unknowable god comes to kill everyone. Yeah. I mean, you need everyone's skills on that day.
You do.
How else is Sheffield going to use his nerdy ham radio to, pierce the frequency between realms?
Alfie's amazing ability to eat pine cones. It's just that, one got caught in his stomach or got caught in his throat and he nearly choked.
Yeah, that's it. And it's funnily, the suckers on the tentacles of Cthulhu are very similar in shape and texture to pine cones. And he manages to, disable it.
Eat a bunch of them. Because Alfie, he loves the pine cone.
There's something odd about Alfie, but I will say that kid can devour a pine cone.
Okay. Yeah, I really like this. I really like this a lot. Now, do you as bunkmates, do you all like the camp that you're at?
I mean, I think different characters are obviously, having a different time of it. I think part of the reason Alfie does eat pine cones is because he's, missing home and it's how he acts out. But then, I think your character, that could almost be depending on the choices you make. I mean, if you start losing bunkmates, then you probably don't want to be sticking around. Maybe things aren't going so well.
I mean, your sanity is going to go pretty downhill very quickly, and that's going to be really hard to beat Cthulhu.
Yeah, that's it. It's a hidden sanity meter too, so you don't know until the final battle that you're actually like one bullying situation away from snapping completely.
I mean, I love the idea of you go through this whole thing and you don't realize that, the camp counselor who's actually taking care of you is like the head camp counselor.
Yep.
But they're also the head of a cult, that worships Cthulhu.
Yes.
And, is part of this sect that are trying to bring Cthulhu back. And it just so happens that
if you play through it again, you will see some of the telltale signs. But your first run through, it's going to feel just like a normal camp until that final scene.
Especially when, during the more intense, conversations, if you look in the background, you see Cthulhu talking to one of the camp counselors in the background.
Yeah, but this is what
he walks through the middle of a scene.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like that gorilla in the basketballs. If you're only paying attention to the conversations, then you're just not going to see the giant nether beast.
I mean, who would?
Who notices a giant nether beast? Cthulhu's just upset himself, right? No one's noticing. He feels invisible in this camp. He came here to learn how to water ski.
And he did.
And he did, and nobody noticed. That's actually what sets him off.
You play through it a third time and you see that he's water skiing in every fucking scene.
In every scene. Funnily enough, actually, this gives me some vibe. Like, you could bring in some stuff from that game, The Altars, that I've been playing, which is a really interesting mix between kind of survival base building and then with some just great narrative stuff that goes along with it, with some branching dialogue and different events and different things. And some just sort of third person resource management kind of stuff. I could see that sort of working in a game like this, where you are kind of managing, it's like, oh, Alfie's got something to say to you, like, go over to his bunk, you get sort of a little mission sort of thing that goes on, or you have to, something's happening that you're not keeping him happy, and that maybe you've got some sort of resource juggling stuff there, but it's mostly like social stuff. It's like, oh, you haven't been spending enough time with Alfie, or he's not getting good food at the cafeteria or something because someone's bullying him, and you can do something about that.
And Jonas keeps on having nightmares of this unknowable beast who's threatening to take over the world.
That's it. And you have to remind him,
and his sanity's gone.
That's just the camp kitchen cook. And look, yes, she has tentacles, but it's not polite to
talk. And yes, they talk to a can of vegetables.
Yes, that's right. And yes, it's wet and it's hot and we're American and it's summer. But you have to deal with it.
And yes, the can of vegetables is voiced by H. John Benjamin.
Mm-hmm. And yes, the cook fucked a fridge. The fridge or just the can? I don't remember. Something that goes on like that. Fuck, I need to watch that again. Would you like me to contact the Great Beyond?
Yeah.
Pull back a random word.
Pull back a random word. If it's Cthulhu, then that's bad.
It's not Cthulhu. It is apprenticed red algae.
So this is just a version of Donald Trump's The Apprentice, but he's run out of celebrities, so he's just like, bring on the algae.
I was trying to find because there's a bunch of stuff here in the there you go. You're chlorophylled, fired. No, I was trying to think of a good pun for you're fired. Yeah, I mean, how can we find something interesting about algae? I mean, it could be a MacGuffin. It could be this poisonous red algae is taking over parts of the lake. The lake. Yeah, it could be a local thing. I was thinking bigger scale, but yeah, it could just be this is the sole source of water for the town.
Yeah.
This red algae is taking over. It's causing strange things to happen, poisoned.
You're the apprentice lake keeper.
Yeah, okay, like a park ranger kind of situation, or I don't know who it is that takes care of the lakes, but
in this place, it's sort of like you've got the if you say at a golf club, you got a greenskeeper.
Yeah.
In this case, you got a lake keeper.
Yeah.
And then they've got the apprentice lake keeper, and that's who it is.
For sure.
Normally, the lake keeper itself would keep the algae skimmed off the top, and
But the lake keeper disappeared.
Yeah.
In a mysterious incident.
Yeah.
And there was a lake keeper shaped hole in the algae there that was spotted, but then it closed up very quickly.
It closed up very quickly. Yeah.
And so no one quite knows what happened to them.
It was noticed by Crazy Ron.
Yeah.
He's not actually crazy.
Ron.
He's not actually crazy. He just sells mobile phones and calls himself Crazy Ron. But,
wait, is that, it wasn't Ron, was it? That used to sell? No, okay. What was it?
No. I don't remember.
Crazy something, wasn't it? What was that old mobile phone company? Anyway, yeah. No, he's just got really old fashioned marketing techniques.
Yeah.
And he sells things. He tells people that he sells things real cheap because he's lost his mind. It's pretty ableist, actually. But he spotted the red algae hole. No one really believes him.
But he was drunk, so no one believed him.
He's also a drunk. His mental health's actually fine, but he is a drunk.
I mean, we don't judge here.
No.
But it was 6 a.m. And he woke up.
Did he
5.
get up? Yeah. Did he just get up, or is he out late?
He woke up sober, and it's 6 a.m. and he's drunk.
I mean, look, if you're living in a small town like Irish Moss, then what else are you going to do at 5 in the morning? If you're not selling many mobile phones, there's only so many people in the town that you can sell mobile phones to.
So I want this to be kind of like a Twin Peaks-esque, sort of like fucked up characters who are just trying to get by.
Definitely. I've never seen Twin Peaks, but I know the style.
Basically,
sort of weird
there
prophetic
are some
kind of things that then come together later, or
no, it's
or
actually
not.
more like more characters that are just so over the top that you take them as normal. Like there's a character in Twin Peaks who has a pet log who she talks to, but it's just normal and no one ever reacts to.
Right, it's kind of
no one ever mentions
people
it.
take it. You just take it in stride, and that's just the reality of this place.
Exactly. So having that sort of thing of no one makes mention of all these wild outlandish characters, and you can tell like, you know, a more subdued sort of story then.
Yeah, because then the
just
sort of
about
interest
what
is coming from the characters.
Yeah. And given that, you know, the water source and, you know, the main source of income for the town, which is the tourist trade. Given that, you know,
the kids like to, the Cthulhu's like to water ski on the lake.
I just love the idea of they have one lake house. And they hire it out to one set of tourists.
It's just very expensive.
It's very expensive. It's very exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive is the word that they use.
Yeah. And look, I mean, any house that has a letterbox that can send messages through time, you would expect to pay a lot.
Exactly. I mean, Keanu Reeves turned up one time, and then Sandra Bullock turned up, and they were communicating, and they came at different times.
Yeah, you could be communicating with Sandra Bullock or Keanu Reeves. You don't know.
You don't know which one, but it's one of them.
One of those letters they got could have actually come from you in the future if you just pay our fee of $20,000 a night.
Exactly. There's something about
it's actually just Crazy Ron, though. He comes and he steals he takes the letters and writes them.
And just writes new ones. It's all in like leet speak. He's hitting the numbers and he doesn't want to hit.
Yeah, but that works out because people are like, oh my God, I'm communicating with someone from the 2000s. The early 2000s are communicating with me through this letterbox.
I don't know why, but I want Crazy Ron to be selling like old, you know, Nokias. 2G style phones and Nokias and all this sort of stuff.
Yep.
Yet it's 2025 and the network doesn't even support them anymore. Like,
oh no, you have to put on these huge, like they already have huge antennas, and then you have to put like adapters on the antennas to hook into the 5G network. You don't actually realize, but it's just another.
You got another smartphone, like inside a box that has.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say he sells these adapters, but it's just like an iPhone 10 in a box with like a Bluetooth, like a connector into like some special software on there.
Yeah, it's got like a little transmitter that transmits on the 2G network.
Yeah,
just to that phone, to your local.
So you've essentially just got all these people carrying around phones that are bigger than like 80s brick phones.
Because it's all inbuilt.
Because it's two phones. Yeah, it's all inbuilt. That's it. He 3D prints. Funnily enough, it's not like he's against technology. He's just found his niche. He's just managed to convince everyone in town that it's the only way you can get on a network. Yeah, I think in the end it all comes down. Crazy Ron's just been manipulating everyone in town.
Yeah.
All right,
oh my God, that is so good. That is so good.
Give me some words. Oh no, was that? Yeah, no, it's your turn. Yeah.
Yours, because that was algae, which was yours. Mm-hmm. And mine is unoccupied scrapbook.
Ooh, that's very evocative, an unoccupied scrapbook.
It really is.
Just the empty pages.
I'm thinking of this, like, empty scrapbook.
Are they empty because it's new, or are they empty because all of the stuff that was collecting in it has been lost and you're, like, tracking it down in some way? You're refilling the empty spots of this scrapbook.
Oh, there's something good about having all the like written notes,
yeah,
but the empty spots all the way through it. I love that.
Yeah.
I really love that.
And you're basically having to like follow sort of a puzzle game of following
it's just,
this person.
Dude, where's my car? Except the person's got dementia.
Oh, God. No, okay. Because I was going to go, I was going to go in a, we're living, discovering the untold life of someone, that sort of style, the cozy kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you could go wacky with it and do it essentially a dude, where's my car kind of thing. And the stuff you're finding is.
It's a scrapbook of the night before. It's like,
yeah.
Oh shit. What does this sentence mean? You know,
exactly.
It seems that we're looking for something like.
And it's like, it's the receipt from the gun, the gun range or something that has a bullet hole through it. That's why there's a hole in the front of the scrapbook and this sort of thing, like matching it up.
But what's crazy is it doesn't go any further through the book, so you were open on this page at the time.
Well, either that or that there was like a lighter, a Zippo lighter that had also been put into the scrapbook already and then hit and blocked it from going any further. Or a Bible or something.
That explains the Zippo-shaped imprint on the next page.
It all comes together. It's just deductive reasoning.
But no, is it one of those things of as you're going through, you can actually miss things. So you know that if you go properly, you will get all the clues in order.
Yeah, but I think you almost design it in a way that you don't have to and almost shouldn't, because then those aha moments will come as you connect these things together. Yeah. It's like, I went to the gun range and I got the receipt. I went over to, the fast food place and found like the wrapper from the toy that is mentioned in here or whatever. But there's, 2 or 3 pages in between that. And, you've sort of got almost an open world situation where then you end up discovering, someone tells you the story of, like a gun shot out my window. And so I chased these guys over the hill down to the quarry over there. And then you find, that there was a piece of limestone or whatever that they'd pasted into, whatever it is.
And that receipt for Sushi Glory Hole was actually
there was 2 receipts. That was 2 receipts. It turns out.
That was 2 receipts.
Yeah. It's like, why couldn't we find the place called Sushi Glory Hole in this town? It's like, oh no.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
I just had to bring it in. It's one of the craziest skits that Lonely Island has ever done. I think that's about it for tonight.
Yeah, I think we'll leave it there. So thank you for joining us this week on Bitstorm. If you would like to find all of our previous episodes, go to podchaser.com/Bitstorm or bitstormcast.com or anywhere that you find fine podcast produce.
Yeah. And if you like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, that song is called Mount Defiance off of the album Containment Failure by the band Kuradust. It's available for free at kuradust.bandcamp.com. So go check it out.
That's right. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott. And I'm Davey, one of the last clones left of Clone Boy 5.
Sing for us, Davey.
Would you like to go out the back and fuck? Oh, shit. Got cancelled.
And I'm Cthulhu and no one saw me water ski.